So I finally made it out to see A Clown in a Cornfield, which is a new horror movie based on like a trilogy of books. And I gotta say, um, this is a movie that released, I think it's South by Southwest or whatever film festival. And coming out of it, a lot of horror fans were very positive, very excited about it. There was a lot of talk of this new clown. Was it Fido? Or something like that. And then people were like, "Oh, he's a new classic, yada yada yada." And I gotta say, watching this movie, it's not a bad movie. I enjoyed myself, like I had a good time. But what were you guys smoking a little bit here with how much this movie is being talked about? This movie is, for the most part, a pretty generic slasher movie with all the tropes. What saves it is that a lot of the actors here are actually doing a pretty good job of making the material work. Because a lot of like generic horror movies lately, like Until Dawn and some other movies, it's not that the actors don't care. There's just nothing interesting about any of them, and they're not really doing much to that or to even leave a mark. Where I feel like the main actress here, I apologize, I don't know her name, but she's doing a pretty good job of making you really connect with that character and her relationship. Guy who played Cole, same thing. Uh, you know, and so I kind of enjoyed that aspect of this stuff. I really enjoyed um, all that stuff, and but it really took a while for this film to get going, and I think it's because I'm imagining the first act of this movie is very similar to the book, where the first act is a lot of establishing this town, kind of the vibes going on, and I think that whole idea of, oh, they're setting up the town is not just for the last act of the movie, but for them to make sequels, because this is based on a trilogy of books, so guaranteed this is going to get a sequel. Especially since I think whatever studio released this, they had like their highest opening ever. Not like a huge amount. I think it was like less than $5 million, but still. And this movie cost like $10 million to make, so it's gonna make its money back. It's gonna do pretty good, and I'm sure they're wanting to make more. And I think it's gonna be on Shutter and streaming soon. So even with all that money at theaters, it's gonna be on streaming and make more money there. So I think they're very happy with how this movie turned out. If you get what I'm saying, and it's not horrible. It's good. I actually enjoyed this show or this movie, but I just think that like some of y'all like new classic, yada yada, for throwing all these things around, and you're just like, yo, chill a little bit, because this is a really generic movie. Not in a way where I was aggravated. There's definitely really generic horror movies where I'm aggravated. This one, I think what made this one work is if your generic slasher doesn't have any cool kills, fuck it. What are you even doing? This one had some really fucking cool kills. And the clown, while I wouldn't go so far to call him a new Art the Clown or new uh, horror icon like some people have been saying, his design is cool and he is creepy enough. I do think certain aspects, I will say a couple spoilers here, pretty weird. What the fuck with like letting bombs in a parade? Like before they went down the street, nobody noticed this dude carrying fucking bombs. Like, what the fuck? I'm just lost on that whole scene. But other than that, movie's pretty good. I think if you're a horror fan and you just like if you're like, hey, I love all the Friday 13th movies, guess what? Go watch this one because you're gonna have a good time. I don't know if you need to go to the theater. So since when I went to the theater, it was a Monday night, it wasn't that full. Probably if you saw it this weekend, it was probably a little more filled up. But I don't know. My theater didn't have a ton of showtimes anyway, so I just feel like it's going on streaming soon. So if you can't see it in the theater, I think it's worth it. This is a pretty low budget horror movie, but honestly, like they used their money pretty wisely, made everything work really well. I didn't really feel like, oh, this movie's low budget in the slightest. I just had a good time. Like I just enjoyed myself. I'm not gonna like be crazy about rewatching it anytime soon. Definitely would. I could see myself rewatching this on a like an October night, just bored and looking around for a fun slasher to throw on in the background while I'm doing something for Halloween. But other than that, I'm not like in a rush to watch this movie again. It is a fun movie though, so if I do end up rewatching it, I will definitely enjoy myself. Let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe.